Hello, everybody. It is Thursday. How we doing tonight? How is everybody doing this Thursday evening? Tell me about your Thursday. Hey, Kitty, how are you? Sorry I'm so late tonight. I am way more ish than 8. But great to have you here tonight. Hope all is well with you. Hope you are doing well in Illinois tonight. Hey, Adele and Dazzle are there. Good to have you here, guys. Live on this Thursday evening. What made your Thursday great? Sylvia! Great to have you join us, Sylvia. Ooh, hang on. That's why it's darker in here. Still getting used to the new set, guys. I missed a button. The Linda light is on, just as I turned it on. That is perfect. Hey, Linda. Great to have you here. Great to have everybody here. My thing is not scrolling. Yeah, it's been a weird customer flow day. I've been in store today. Had to cover a little bit. A couple of gaps today. Weird flow. We actually had snow this morning, which wasn't scheduled, wasn't planned, and it wasn't amounting to anything, but it just threw everybody off. And then we've got a rainy, foggy mist tonight, so it's kind of weird. We didn't go. We had ticket problems with the lights tonight. And Six Flags said their website's broken, so that caused us a problem. So we ended up not going and having a family night at home. Yay, Kathy! Congratulations. I'm glad you're getting the folks vaccinated. That's great. And that they want to get vaccinated. That is wonderful. I am thrilled for that. It is coming together. It is happening. People are getting the vaccine. I know 2 so far personally. And I got another one next week. So I'll be up to 3 next week. So, and it's accelerating. They are rolling out the scheduling of it. It is coming together. So it is not an on-off switch. It's not a button we can just throw, but it is coming together. And I'm going to share some good news on that actually surprised me today in just a minute. So let's get this party started. Because I got some stuff I want to cover. It's already late, and I don't want to keep you too late. And I want to get back. We got cupcakes and stuff and other baked goods. Hello, Jennifer. Great to have you here tonight. We start with the Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Every night we start with that. Tonight we are on page 88. Good morning. Inertia's a hell of a drug. If you've been going non-stop, be an object at rest. If you've been at rest too long, get in motion. Don't rely on external force. Kick inertia in the grundle. Let's go. Whoa, how about that for a good morning? So, as we were just talking about, excitement with the vaccine and things happening, many of you know I serve on several boards, and one of the boards I serve on is the Chamber of Commerce. And in between everything else I had going on today, I had a board meeting for that. Virtual, of course. The chamber, our chamber, like most chambers, is about in-person meeting, networking, getting the latest and greatest. And 2 of their biggest events that have the highest attendance every year are in the late spring. One of them is an annual scholarship breakfast where they give out $2,000 scholarships to at least 24 kids, and this was started many, many moons ago and has been endowed, and the income is paying most of it every year, which is really nice, and it's an incredibly inspiring event. I love going to hear these kids' stories. I mean, the best of the best within our community of students, and it's truly an inspiring breakfast, and their families come to it. It's a very large event. And the other, their next event, which is actually even larger, is their annual meeting, and it's always just usually a couple weeks before the NARTS meeting at the end of June. And during our board meeting, it was discussed that these two events are being looked at as the first in-person events we will have had in over a year. And that they're looking at how they could bring those two events together, even if they have them a little later, maybe in June. They don't like to run into July with things, but how could they bring those two events to being live? And without getting into the skinny of all the details of it, and while it's hard to imagine today having a live event with hundreds of people, I mean, at it, the idea that people are conceptualizing this, that groups are starting to look at, okay, we think this summer we can have a live event, and maybe it'll be scaled back, maybe we won't be able to have as many people at it, whatever, is encouraging, okay, is encouraging public health sign. And that's with all the doom and gloom that is going on right now. There's lots of bad stuff. The virus is in control of everything, don't get me wrong right now. But that they're looking forward and they're thinking, maybe in June the virus won't be in control. Maybe we can plan an event. I can see Adele's meeting planner groups going, oh no, not yet. I don't know. There's a lot of planning still to happen with this, and I was quite in shock when this was discussed and brought up as a plausible idea. I've honestly written off the first half of the year as trying to get any in-person meetings going of size like that. And sometimes they joke about chambers as a bunch of old white men having lunch, but our chamber's pretty diverse, so I like to think beyond that. It brought a sign of hope, I guess, is really what I'm going to with that. I'm not sure it will come to pass. I mean, it is January. June is a long time off. There's a lot of things that would need to happen to pull that off at any size, and a lot would have to change in public health to allow for a meeting of that size in any size. Even if you were to have it outside in a tent, you'd need a certain level of things to happen. So, but I like the sense of optimism with the idea, I guess, is the sense of hope. And that's what spring's eternal. That is what the whole idea of spring is rebirth. So I offer that as signs of hope, okay? And even if it doesn't come this June, that people are in that mindset that we will meet again in person, that we will get out and be places together in person, is really kind of exciting. I mean, really, that we're planning for that is exciting. That is good. That is what I'm trying to share with this message. And I'm glad I'm not on the planning committee for it, because that's got a lot of complexities and I've got a lot on my plate. Thank you. I'm not asking to be on that planning committee. With those types of events anyways, I'm just the better guy to have just show up. Tell me where and when. When do I need to be there? And I will be 10 minutes late. But I will be there. Hey, Anita, how are you? Patty, great to have you joining the program live tonight. Great to have you all here. So what do I got for you tonight? We're going to go at a little faster pace because I'm so late tonight, I guess, or we're going to cover less because I'm so late tonight. The SBA is patting itself on the back. The SBA is patting itself on the back. It has picked up the pace on PPP loan forgiveness, and even though they don't have the simplified form out yet, here's how many vaccination. You got me on vaccinations. Here's how many it's processed so far. They have received 1.3 million applications for forgiveness so far, and about 85% of those, or 1.1 million, have been processed. Okay? So that is what they have done so far. And, that's sort of to show that the PPP is working. They're trying to, do their own media campaign that what they're doing is working, that their processes are working, and all that. I am hopeful for the new forgiveness form soon. It is not out yet. And if you have a loan under $150,000, you want to wait for that. But that I am hopeful for soon. But they are getting forgiven, and we've seen it with other businesses posting that they've gotten their loans forgiven, and that's a good thing. One of the things that has come up with the new PPP, and so this is kind of important. Well, it is important. The new rules for the PPP allow you to use your PPP anywhere between 8 and 24 weeks, and this is for first or second PPPs. It allows you to use the proceeds of that over 8 to 24 weeks. What that does, though, is change the math in, depending on how long you're using it, in how salaries are calculated, how you hit the salary cap. And basically, it hasn't changed that much, but it's getting some press. It's really hasn't changed, but it has gotten press. You can't pay somebody compensation over $100,000, and you can't exceed 2019 income for owners. And you can't exceed $100,000. So what that works out to is the $19.23 per week. So paying somebody that's working for you, and I don't think this is an employee problem for most of you, but you can't pay somebody more than $19.23 a week for the number of weeks that you use the PPP. So when you for the number of weeks you pay somebody, so if you were to give somebody a big bonus or something, it can't lift them over $19.23 a week, $1,923 in gross income a week for the weeks you are using the PPP. So if you used it for 9 weeks, let's just play here. Pink calculator, folks. That means you could pay somebody $17,307 versus at 8 weeks you could only pay them $15,384. And so that's the cap in that for employees. And it's an important note that you don't get to carry that out. If you use it if you kept your employees, an employee making $19.23 the full 24 weeks, the employee could get under the PPP $46,152. Okay? But an owner is still limited to 2019 income. 2.5 months, right? It's 2.5 months. The cat, you know, yeah, so owner income is still on the low end of that. Can I get that kind of salary? I will let you know where you can get that salary. So that's at 90 grand, you know, I mean, so that's at the $100,000. You know, if you had people working for you at that rate, it does affect how long your PPP runs. And that's really the thing. It's a clarification of a rule that already existed, but it's been getting in the headlines right now because of the reissuance of the PPP, because some people want to talk about fraud in the PPP, and so they're like, oh, the PPP rules are changing. And the rules really aren't changing. It's really a clarification. Oh, you'd never complain, Kelly. I don't know. I think if I were paying you that, you'd find a reason to say that you were worth $200,000. I'm just saying. You know, it's never enough. It's never enough. So keep that in mind as you're doing your PPPs, and don't get scared over it. Just be aware of it. So I talked last night about the Employee Retention Tax Credit. And because I had no desk time, I don't have the forms that I promised you, but I have it on my desk to get for you. And so I will have those for you forthcoming. But I also told you I would tell you about the Employee Retention Tax Credit and what is different about it in 2021. So I'm gonna cover what's different. I'm not going to go back to what I said last night because it's so late already. I'm going to cover what's different in 2021, and then the next couple nights we'll review it all. We'll bring it all together. So in 2021, the Employee Retention Tax Credit, which you can get under one of two conditions. You have in 2021, the conditions are, and this is for the first 2 quarters of 2021 only. It is only currently authorized for the first and second quarter. And it is during times when you are not using PPP funds. So you cannot use PPP funds at the same time. But you can get this credit if your sales are down 20% over the same quarter in 2019. 20% decline in sales is one qualification over the same period in 2019, or if you are under a government restriction restricting your business. Okay, so if your business is under a government restriction, like you can only be at half occupancy, you can only be open certain hours, you can only be at 25% occupancy, 80% occupancy. It doesn't matter what the restriction is, as long as you are under a government restriction that does not allow you to operate as normal. Even if you have not had a reduction in sales, you get to claim it. In 2021, unlike it being for the rest of the year, in 2021, the credit is per quarter. So you get up to 70%. You get 70% back on the first $10,000 of wages paid with non-PPP money per quarter. 70% on the non-PPP wages paid per quarter on the first $10,000 paid per quarter. Per employee. It is per employee per quarter. So someone earning $20,000 in the first half of the year, and you paid them with non-PPP funds, okay, you'd be able to get $14,000 of that back in cash. cash, okay, you'd be able to get that back. Okay, and that is with either a 20% decline or over the same quarter in 2019, or by complying with a government order that for example, that reduces your occupancy is one of the big ones, that reduces your operating hours. Anything that affects your ability to operate normally. Okay, in Massachusetts for a while we weren't allowed to have fitting rooms. Michelle, you did your Thursday Night Live. I'm proud of you. And you showed up for the end tonight. So that's wonderful. So that is what you're eligible for in 2021 in the first and second quarter. The whole key with the Employee Retention Tax Credit is you cannot use it for the exact same periods of time that you are using PPP money. And that is why, to maximize your benefits, you want to be able to use your PPP in the shortest period possible, as close to the 8 weeks as possible, with only hitting the 60% part for payroll, if you're getting a second PPP. So that is the keys. That is what is different in 2021. It's per quarter you get the credit instead of for the half year, and the credit is bigger. That is correct, Jennifer. 20% down versus the same quarter in 2019. Michelle, I'm glad to say hello to you. I'm glad you're here. And in 2020, you had to be 50% down. That is correct. So you are following it without getting me too deep in everything that I said last night. And 2021 is per quarter versus 2020 was for the entire time period of March through the end of the year. See, I'm just trying to stay on 2021 here, and you guys keep on dragging me back to 2020. It was a drag, I'm just saying. But that is the key to it. So 2021 is a bigger credit, but many of you are also getting a second PPP. So you can't mix the time periods. That's where it gets confusing. And you can use some of the same time periods, but this is where the math gets complicated. And we will delve into the math on this and how you use an 8-week PPP for 60% of your payroll and how you claim the credit for that part that you didn't use the PPP for. We will delve into that in the coming days. I promise you that we will, because you can do it, and quite honestly, with the size of the credit, it does make sense to not leave anything on the table. Okay, because this is all about bolstering and strengthening your business. Bolstering and strengthening your business so that we get to the other side of this. So that you are stronger, so that we are building back a stronger business, okay, throughout this, the more resilient business. President-elect Biden has put out a let me rephrase that. I don't think he's actually put out all the detail that I have. I've got like 50 pages of President Biden's plan, and it's all marked up confidential, so I guess that's not out there. Hey Kim, great to have you here. So he is hoping to get more stimulus out there. Right now it's a lot of talk, a $1.9 trillion plan, but we'll cover that more in the coming days. I have to read the 50 pages marked confidential first, and see what of that I can actually say. I'm not sure outside of the top line I'm supposed to say much, but I will look at it and gander at it. I'm not sure what the reality of it's going to be. I think the coming days I'll know more on that, of what the temperature in Congress is for such an extensive stimulus, although I am for the concept of it. But we're going to cover and bring this all together with the Employee Retention Tax Credit, mixing the PPP, which it really does mix in 2021 for many of you, how that all works together, how you do the pink calculator math so that you maximize your benefit, how Kelly gets a job earning over 100 grand and has new tax problems, and how we bring it all together and take care of Kim in Texas. And Michelle in Virginia. Well, Michelle's getting the billionaire that likes to buy stores, so she's marrying the Czech billionaire or something. So it's all going to be okay is the bottom line, folks. But we're going to bring it together. I will bring it all together for you. I will bring it all together in the coming days. We will mesh it all together, and I will continue to answer your questions. I know my email box is getting very, very full. I see over on the screen over there a whole bunch more that have come in while I've been on tonight. I plan on working some this weekend, catching up. I think my staff is starting to be back to normal. I owe Adele a few things, so I got to take care of that too. Otherwise, Daz will be mad at me. But that's what is happening tonight, folks. That's what I wanted to bring you up to date on this Thursday evening. You know, this video and everything I talk about here goes over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the very next day. Noon the very next day. Everything, all the files I talk about, everything is over there at narts.org/resalestrong. It's also there and organized so you can share it with all your friends, including this video on the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when a new one drops. I am here at more 8 than ish every night, live in the Narts private Facebook group, live. That's where you find me. But if you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night, with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program. If you were not here at the top of the program, tonight we are on page 88. Good morning. Inertia is a hell of a drug. If you've been going non-stop, be an object at rest. If you've been at rest too long, get in motion. Don't rely on an external force. Kick inertia in the grundle. Let's go. Our good night tonight is good night. Inertia is a hell of a drug. If you've been going non-stop, be an object at rest. If you've been at rest too long, get in motion. You decide your momentum, love. There's your graphics, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We will party again. And when we do, I will be there with you. Yes, I will. But until then, and until tomorrow night at more 8 than ish, know that you, and most importantly you, yes you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. It's time for dessert.